Alright, going to do a little how-to on how I align and set up and balance my limitless. We were on a live stream last night and people were asking about it, so I figured I would show it. Here's the balancer I use. I've had this balancer a little while. Bought it a long time ago. Real simple tool. And all you have to do is, whoa, don't drop the parts. So you just go ahead and throw in the wheel. Doesn't have to be super tight. And this is how you balance it. So all I do, spin it around like this, and the heavy side, which usually has the sticker or the dot on it, will end up at the bottom because it's the heavy side. And as you see, this one has a green dot down in here, right there. That's the green dot, and that's the heavy side. Don't know if I caught it. I'll do it again. You don't have to spin it really fast, but as you see, it will stop on the heavy side. So once you know what the heavy side is and it stops, it actually stops perfectly on the dot. So I know 180 away, and you can mark it if you want, but I know from that dot I need to add a little weight. You can use putty. This is the wheel balancing weight stuff I use through Horizon. So, and then you just add a little bit of weight to the opposite side. You can use Play-Doh, you can use all sorts of other stuff, but all you're trying to do is to get that weight to pretty much spin around. And it's not going to spin evenly. What you're going to want to do is, when this is balanced right, when it spins around, this heavy side is going to be no more than, 45. So instead of being at the bottom, it's going to come up over here. It's not going to be perfect. So all I do is take a little bit of this weight, and we're going to add it to the opposite side. It's a little heavy, but we'll see. This wheel is not that bad. And if you're using Play-Doh, you just shove it in between the spokes. So I've added my weight to the opposite side, and we're going to check it again. And as you see, now my weight is at the bottom and the green dot is up, so it's too much. So we're going to take a little bit off. And you just keep doing this. Then once I get this weight correct, I usually add a little bit of tape over it. And we're still going heavy on the weight, getting a lot closer. Like I said, this wheel's not that far off. So usually when they're not that far off, I don't mess with them. But if you want a perfect balance, this is the way you have to do it. And there we go. So that's a perfectly balanced wheel now. I'm no more than 45 on the green dot. And it stops in random spots all the time. So that is now a perfectly balanced wheel. So I'm going to take my weight and I'm going to throw a little bit of tape over it, just so it doesn't come off. Putty, you don't have to tape it. You got to remember this tape will add a little bit too, so try not to throw that much tape on it. Just a little bit of tape goes a long way. And there we go. A perfectly balanced wheel. So that's how I balance my wheels. Cheap little tool, you know. Nothing fancy about it. Factory team. Same person who makes my diff fluids and shock oils and all that stuff. So it does come with some putty if you want to use putty, or like I said, you can go buy some Play-Doh at Target, Walmart, whatever, and that's pretty much how you do it, you know. So it's a very simple thing, something I feel if you're gonna do the speed game, definitely should do it, because it's going to make a world of difference of your car flipping or not flipping. And always save all the little pieces. So figured I'd just make that quick little video on how to balance that. And then I'm going to show you how I align my cars. Which, using my phone. Let's get this wheel put back on. Limitless is truly an awesome car. So I'm going to cut the video here, and actually no reason to cut the video. Let's keep going, because I'm not going to do a separate wheel balancing and alignment video. Since it's relatively pretty simple, I really got to clean up my workbench. I've just got so much stuff going on lately. So what you're gonna want to do is, I'm gonna get out of this so I can get to, I use this bubble level right here. So before you use the bubble level, what you're going to want to do is square up your car. And some people have asked me, what is squaring up your car? Just measuring from this hub to that hub. So I am, let's see, 15, let's call that 16 to the front of the red hub. And then we'll measure on the same side. 16 to the red. So all I'm checking for is to make sure that my car is not twisted. If it is, and you don't have the same measurement right and left, there is no caster adjustment on these, but there is. The caster adjustment is your differentials. Your control arm is connected to your differentials. So what you need to do is take your diffs, loosen up the screws to your diff, or whatever's holding your control arms on, loosen that assembly, loosen all the bolts, and shift it. You can do it front or rear. Loosen up the bolts here, and then you can actually shift the rear end and then tighten it down. Okay? And that's going to tell you if your car is twisted up. And sometimes you need to look further because you could have something bent. So just squaring up the car is something I feel everybody should do. And then what I do is normally have a rubber band. So get yourself a rubber band, or you can even tape it. And I tape this to my wheel. So this number here is the RC basically rolling. So it's right and left. Okay? So we're not concerned about that number. We're concerned about your camber. So I'm 1.6. I'm actually 1.5 degrees. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm 1.5 degrees on my front. And then let's check the other side. And my other side is almost at 0. So I've got 1.5 degrees here, and I 0.04 over here. So got to set my camber on this side. Let's see. Yeah, 0.08. 0.08. So because I want more surface area on the ground here, I usually like 1 degree of camber. So I'm going to add a little bit to this and take a little bit out of this. And same thing on the rear. The rear, I like 0. I don't like camber in the rear. So I usually like these set to 0. And as you see, I'm 0.2. So that's really close to 0. That one's good. I'm not going to adjust it. And then same with that wheel. So that's how I set my camber. Everybody knows toe. So another cool thing is this little thing right here. So what you do, if you don't have a measuring tape, you pick a point. So I'm going to pick that hub there. And then I'm going to measure to this hub here. And that's going to give me another number, 15.7. So I'm going to flip the RC around and I'm going to measure the other side. So I'm going to pick that hub there. And pick this hub over here. And that's going to give me a number, 16.3. So I am a little off. So it was real close. Measuring tape was showing the same thing. So what I'll do is I'll loosen up this rear diff and I'll square that out. So that's what I'm talking about, using your phone to align your car. Another cool little feature I use is the bubble. So my bubble level, we all want a rake on our RC. You want, for a speed run, you want the back up higher than the front. So what you do is you put this on the body, and right now I'm 4 degrees rake. So we'll check that a few places. That's not really going to work there. 4.6 degrees. So that's telling me, and definitely make sure that your table's level. See, I'm 0.4. So when I'm showing 4.5, it's 4.0. So that's how I set up my car, using this app called the Bubble Level, which is that app right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. That's how I end up lining my car. So definitely start with squaring the car first. If your toe's way off, get your toe set. You can set that with the measuring tape, or you can use that string that I was showing you in the app. Or you know, yeah, that's it. But definitely make sure, and then balancing the wheels. Balancing the wheels is like a must when it comes to a speed car. And then after every run, checking all of your nuts and bolts. Another thing I suggest with the speed car, instead of checking your rake off the body, which you should do anyway, you can also check it on the chassis. Throw it on the chassis here, and that'll get you a better measurement of your rake. And then another way to check your rake is like this. So measure it here, measure it here. Make sure you have the rear up higher, because if the rear's not up higher, this is going to catch wind and it's going to cause the car to backflip. So these are just little tips that I've learned over the years. So let me know if you guys like any of the way I set up my speed cars. And you can balance your off-road cars, tires too, which will stop a lot of the wheel hop. But definitely on your speed cars, you must do this. All right, like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you guys on the next video.